Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It is such an absolute pleasure. Firstly, I just want to check in with you. How are you, and what's your mood like at the moment? You know, it's January. What are we? January 23rd. Long month, right?
23rd. Yeah, it's always I mean, this time of year is always the roughest, isn't it? So they say it's the most depressing time when Christmas is over and everyone's back at it. So but yeah, I'm good. I live on the Isle of Man, you may know. So does Harry. And these storms that are coming in are gonna batter us tonight. So yeah, we're quite exposed in the Isle of Man, so looking forward to that.
Oh God damn, be safe. I hope it generally isn't as bad as, doom, like the news and all that kind of
Oh, they've
doom,
dressed it up as
doom,
being
yeah.
horrific. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm a Londoner. I'm in London. You know, these things don't affect us in even the slightest way. So it's always hard for me to fully understand. So yeah, just fingers crossed it's all okay.
It'll be grand. It'll be grand.
Ye- Good, 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 good. What about the mood in the band overall at the moment? How's everyone's head? What's the vibe?
Um, Good at the minute. Yeah, we've just been in the rehearsal studios last weekend in Liverpool, going through the set and things that we're going to do on this tour that we're away on Sunday. I think we're away to start pre-production, and then Stockholm is on 30th, I believe, or 29th. But yeah, we're all in a good mood. You know, it's always good when you get together and you rehearse. I mean, some occasionally there'll be an issue that crops up, and this time it went perfectly. So it always puts you in a better mood, and we feel a bit more on top of it. So yeah, looking forward to it. All of us are in good spirits. So
That's good to hear. Is that the major thing that's been keeping you busy so far this year? Just focusing on this tour?
focusing on the tour mainly, yeah. But there's always other things that we're looking further down further ahead in the year, and we've got like a few plans. I'm not sure. I don't think we can say what they are yet, but I mean that we've got things to look forward to towards the end of the year. Possibility of a few festivals, and we've also got some recording coming up, so we want to get a few more songs out later this year as well. So, but yeah, so far the focus has been on this tour.
I mean, it makes sense. I'd be very surprised if you didn't have a ton of things in the work. But as it
Yeah,
is, like I said, we've got a tour now. We've also got an EP coming up as well. But let's just stick with the tour because I kind of want to. It's an extensive tour. I mean, we're talking the end of January all the way through to March 1st across Europe, alongside Say It Off,
yeah.
of course. Talk to me about your personal prepping for a tour like this, to going away like this. What do you do to prep mentally, physically for it?
Do you know, I spend like the weeks leading up to it. I kind of worry, and I've got family and stuff here, and it's being away from them is quite a tough thing to do. But once I know from experience, once you're in the thick of it, you tend to sort of your mind's you're on it then. So, but the weeks leading up to it, it's quite tough. There's that, and I mean, for instance, I had this morning I woke up in a blind panic. I had a nightmare, and the nightmare was that we'd just started the tour. We were on stage, the intro kicked in, and it was literally seconds before I was due to play my part to come in, and I hadn't even set my guitar up, my pedals or anything like that. And I woke up thinking, shit. But it's constantly, stressing me. Something stresses me all the time. Um, yeah. Um, Other than that, I'm looking forward to it, and we occasionally check in with each other just to sort of like gauge how you feel and how you doing. But yeah, it's all good though.
Is that like that kind of dream? I wonder if that's like the equivalent of the whole naked in front of the crowd when you've got a speech kind of thing for a musician. You just didn't set anything up and you're completely unprepared.
I know in the dream I was like, I basically ran on stage and I was going, "Whoa, stop, I'm not ready."
Oh wow. As I said, it's a huge tour. It goes so many places. Is there any particular place that you're really excited to visit? Say even one maybe that you've got a day off around, so you get to do a bit of exploring, tourist stuff, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of days where we're not doing anything, so and we're visiting some amazing places, some
Mm.
really cool cities. So we're gonna do a bit of the touristy thing, go and look at some architecture and all that, looking forward to that. I think like we've never played in anywhere like Scandinavia, any of the Scandinavian countries like Sweden, Denmark, and that's the first 3 days. And I'm a big snow fan, so I'm hoping that when we get there, it's like, it'll be like I don't know, knee deep in snow or something, and we can maybe if we get a day off, I'd like to go do a bit of snowboarding, but it's not advisable in case you fall over and break your hand or your wrist.
Mm.
But yeah, that I'm looking forward to the them first three dates, and also Milan. We've never played there, so that's another date I'm looking forward to.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be exhausting because
Yeah,
it's a long time. And of course, it's
yeah,
away from family, away from home, and all of that. But
yeah,
it's great that you're going to get to experience these brand new places and hopefully the magical, because that's what I think when I think Scandinavia. And you say snow and all that. Big fan of snow
yeah.
too, but magical, right? Just that image.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. It's the image of it being. I mean, I love it. I love summer holidays with the heat and everything, and the swimming pools and stuff like that, and beers by the pool. But for me, it's I love snowboarding holidays when it's sunny, crystal clear weather, but really bitingly cold and snow. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it for that reason.
Uh, Well, that part of the tour obviously takes place in the UK. You come back this way, a lot
Yeah,
of cities, and culminating in two dates in my hometown,
yeah,
London at the Electric Brixton, which is incredible. What
yeah.
would you prefer? Do you prefer like to start in the UK or end in the UK?
Um, I think end in the UK. We've done it both ways, so
Hmm.
I think it was Pop Evil or New Year's Day. I can't remember which one it was that we started in the UK and went into Europe, and then it was the other way around with, I believe, oh, the name escapes me now. I will remember, but we did it the other way around, and I think I prefer coming back into the UK because I remember when we did do it, it was like almost like that part of it, the stress of being that far away. It's like, oh, we're finally back on terra firma, and so yeah, it was, and the places you can go to and where the what foods you can eat and all. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's nice to get them back into UK because you feel like you're getting close to home and all your English, the English fans as well. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I do picture that it almost feel like, all right, things are beginning to wind down, and that would be a nice feeling if you've been away for such a long time.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
But of course, I mean, this is not your first rodeo. I was watching the Amour archives, the Mallory Knox tour videos in particular. A lot of countries and a lot of countries get
Yeah,
you, but it does sometimes feel like none quite like the UK from a live perspective. From a live perspective,
yeah.
where does the connection you have with your audience come from, do you think? And how do you foster that relationship, keeping it strong and healthy?
Um, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it I put down to we're still we're quite grounded because we
Mm.
are a new band and we're not big in any way, so to speak. So we still feel like we're playing in pubs and we still pinch ourselves from what we're doing. We're going on tour with Mallory Knox, You Me at Six. It's like, how is this happening? So when we're in front of the crowd and we can see them appreciating what we're doing, it's almost like you feel like going, "Oh, like I want to be there with you in the crowd." And Harry has always been like exceptional at involving the crowd, and he can literally, I've seen him do it, turn a crowd like that. A crowd that is not 100% sure who you are, and they don't know how to react. And within two songs, Harry's like got them like that. So yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. We just like I think we just like seeing people have fun to our music. It's a kick, and I think it works both ways. The crowd are the same, so we feed off each other. When you've got a good crowd in front of you, it's a great feeling. So
I'm glad you used the word grounded as well, because it's one of the things I feel that stands so strongly out about you guys as a group is that you
yeah,
still seem so approachable. Like, you have rockstar aura, but I could walk up to you and say hello and it wouldn't be weird, right?
always, yeah, always. I think that's anybody could do that to us. I mean. I kind of get when some bands have been doing it for so long, um, that the whole meet and greet or coming out and talking to your fans, they must sort of like get to a stage like, oh, I just want to finish that set and just go backstage, have a drink, get in bed, or what.
Mm.
But I get it, but I don't feel like I'll ever get there. I think I liked, just being out there with them and chatting to them and making friends. So, and we're all the same. I mean, there's plenty of bands that do that. They just
Of course.
the bigger bands have probably been doing it for so long that they just sort of think they kind of appreciate the gig finishing and then just doing the relaxing thing and all that. But yeah,
I
we'd
know.
always have a beer with anybody, any of the like the guys that come up to us and have a chat with us.
But also, there will be a time when you yourself, I don't know, you played a tough show, you're ill, you could do with a hot chocolate, that kind of thing. It's going to happen at the best of times. It's
Yeah.
always difficult. I mean, you like interacting with your fans. Have you had any particular special fan interaction moments?
Um, I mean, I can't pinpoint like in particular.
Hmm.
There's been a few, obviously quite a few gigs where we've come off and we've thought, what a hell of a crowd. That was crazy, when you don't expect it. In the UK specifically, and one that stood out for me was the Bataclan in Paris.
Wow.
And the day started off quite weird. It's a bit of a somber affair because obviously for what happened in there. Um, and all the bands that we were with, we walked in, and I think everyone was quiet, and we were just looking around and remembering what happened there. And then when
Hmm.
we went on, obviously we know the crowd has never really heard us. They may have heard the odd song or two, but they were incredible. They were so welcoming, so into the music, and so good to us. So yeah, that stood out massively to me. And we came off stage, and like I don't know, a week later, we were still grinning about it. It's just an incredible show, and the fans there were amazing. And it's like that in pretty much every show we do, which we're really grateful for. That the fan reaction is what makes it worthwhile.
Oh yeah, I know. I've seen you live as well, so I know it seems like good chaos, happy chaos is the word I want to use.
That's a
Chaotic, but
great
in a
word.
happy, chaotic way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
What excites you about getting on stage, though? Because of course, particularly in the big long tours, the two weeks in, it can be hard work, of course, and maybe you're not feeling your best, so to speak. But you've got
yeah.
to G yourself and get on stage. What do you do to excite yourself?
Uh, just drink alcohol.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Any
I mean,
particular drink?
I think I don't know. It's after, like you say, after a couple of weeks, it becomes like it's just almost automatic that you go through the motions of it. But then for that sort of hour to half an hour before you go on stage, you get the bug then, and you get the butterflies every time. And we've stood backstage before we're going on, I don't know, 10 shows into a tour, shitting us. We're really worried about it. And the second you go on stage, you start playing, it all goes, and you're performing again. But yeah, it's a weird sensation, but definitely rewarding as soon as you get on that stage and start playing.
It's going to be such a killer tour. I
Yeah,
just when I looked at the list of cities, blown away by where you were going, and just so excited to sort of see the response, particularly for the places you've never been before. I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
wait to see. Without giving anything away, I'm going to presume maybe we'll get tour videos and stuff like that. We'll give a bit of insight for those people from
yeah,
different
yeah,
countries, so
100%.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have a lot of that.
I mean, of course, the tour isn't the only exciting thing happening because, of course, new EP. February 7th via Circular Wave. Great to see this coming out. Of course, several of the singles have already been out and been really well received.
Yeah.
Considering that's coming out during, well, when you're away, so to speak, are you thinking about the EP as much?
Um, yeah, I suppose we are because it's just getting something else out there for us, and it's collectively all together that we were, we came up with these songs. Obviously wrote them and then went in the studio and crafted it, and now we tried to sort of not particularly stick to one genre. We tried mix like having almost like I mean, there's big riffs in some of them. There's more laid back-ish parts of it. There's some EDM sections in it. So
Hmm.
we tried to hit everything, and after we'd finished it, we were really sort of happy with what we'd come up with. And getting each single out there is great. It's just a little taster, but then to get it all out there in one go is like it's kind of a release. Then it's out, it's done, and then we move on to the next one, which we've already started writing. So
I'm not surprised, You're creative. You're constantly moving forward. I would expect nothing but something else already in the work. But was it always going to be an EP? Initially, when you were in the creative period for when you were writing, I guess, if it was a specific thing, did you
yeah,
have a vision for what this stage of Call Me More was to be? And did it look bigger than an EP originally?
um, it no, I think it was always going to be an EP. we never really we've discussed albums or whether to sort of just keep releasing singles, EPs for a while until eventually we'll get an album out there. But
Hmm.
the writing process of it was, I mean, we didn't think we were doing much different at the time. We just demoed songs between us, and then we went into the studio and we were working with a guy called George Parks, who's done Enter Shikari, Skindred, and a hell of a guy, a hell of a bass player, hell of a producer, and he lent his ear to it. And we also had Mikey Chapman in the studio with us, who again, phenomenal songwriter and singer. And it kind of we bounced off each other, which we've never really done with so many people around us and collectively as a band before. And I think we almost leaned away a little bit from EDM and sort of
Hmm.
went more rock. That was the initial, let's do rock and then we'll add sprinklings of it. Whereas before, I think it seemed to be we'll write something acoustic and then craft it EDM style and then throw the guitars on top. So it was kind of a reverse way of doing it this time. And we think it worked out better for us.
Was it quite comfortable to kind of do that this time at first, though?
Um, Yeah, I think it was. I think it was. I think it was more comfortable. I think it was. You could hear the end product easier this time round, whereas before it was always like as you rolled on, adding things to it, taking things away. It was always still like, I wonder what's going to sound like. I wonder what's going to happen there. But with this, every day we added something. It was like, right, this is getting so good now. We start, we knew exactly where it was going to end up.
Oh my God. So you like it's evolving, it's developing, it's becoming a full thing, and you're like almost
100%.
watching with starry eyes, seeing this
Yeah.
beautiful thing grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, exactly that. It was, we could see how where it was going. Whereas, like I said in the past, it was kind of like, I know we've got this skeleton of an idea and we built it, and then we take something away, and we still like even weeks after being in the studio, we'd be like, oh, I'm not sure about this section, that section. We'd throw something else back to the producer and he'd add it in. But with this, it was just building and building, building. And it was like, oh, we're getting there. So yeah, I think we found our sound a bit, a bit more on this one.
Oh, that's awesome. And obviously the proof is, I mean, obviously you're happy is the most important thing of all. But obviously when songs are released, you kind of want to hope that you're going to get a good response. We've had Bloom, Happy Hell, and Good Day all have done great numbers. Good Day
Yeah,
in particular on YouTube, just YouTube alone, the numbers in that video are insane. Mikey Chapman, of course, Mallory Knox, guesting on it, fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Talking about that specific song, it seems to be resonating in a way that I've not seen before. Why do you think it is resonating with listeners so much?
Um, I mean, it's quite it's an upbeat song, whereas we're used to doing quite dark sounding songs. And I remember when we kind of came up with the idea, we were unsure of it. I think it was a split down the middle of the band. Some of us were thinking this is going to be great. Some was thinking, is it really us? But um, yeah, because it was such an upbeat and sort of happy song,
Mm.
not as dark as we're used to. I think I don't know. I mean, I think people latch on to that it's the band that they know and like doing something a bit more happier and positive and and there's no point in denying it. Mikey Chapman's on it, so I mean that's a huge part of why people love it because I mean the guy's got golden vocals and
Yeah.
everyone loves the band that he's in. So I think people attach themselves to it for that reason as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I get that. If you're a fan of Mallory Knox, you check the song out. But what makes you
Yeah,
stay is obviously what you're doing as well. I love the fact that it is such an upbeat track,
yeah,
but it doesn't feel weird or out of the ordinary. That's the most
exactly.
incredible
Yeah,
thing of all.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Talk to me though about collaborating with Scott Kennedy on Bloom. How did that come about?
Scott Kennedy. So he's a friend. He's been a friend of Harry's for quite a while. From when he was in Yashin days, obviously being a band based in Glasgow. Um, yeah, I think we played in the Cat House with it might have been the Horror or I'm not sure who it was with now, but we went out on a night out after that, and Scott was in there. Harry was chatting to him, and we all had a chat with him. He came back to the tour bus. We had a few drinks on the bus. And I remember listening to a bit more of his stuff and his voice. He's another person that you just think, what a crazy voice that guy's got. What an aggressive voice. And like when we did Bloom, there was a section in it, and we just thought that needs some like proper guttural screaming or some aggression in it. And straight away, I thought, right, he's perfect for it. So Harry reached out to him and asked him, would he do it? And a couple of weeks later. I think he was out with the band at the time, but a couple of weeks later he sent us a piece over, and it blew us away. It was like this is exactly what we were looking for. So yeah, unbelievable for him to do it. A great guy as well.
I love it when it is as incredibly simple as that. You ask and you get, and it turns out exactly how you want it to be.
Again, yeah, I don't know how common it is for other bands how they do it, but us being so like, you know, we're just these four guys, like we're quite grounded to sort of approach Scott and say, "Do you want to do some of our song?" And him just going, "Yeah, yeah, I'm up for that." I was like, "Holy shit!" And then Mikey from Mallory Knox do, "Yeah, yeah, I'll throw this down, I'll do that." And it's like, oh my God, what a blessing that they've said yes to us, you know?
I completely understand where you're coming from, but it also feels so deserved because you've earned this position and where you've got to at this stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, you're so grounded and you're humble, and that's awesome to hear. But from like as a fan, me personally, it's like I want to sort of be like, no, you deserve this, and it makes so much sense. That's a
Oh, I
collaboration
appreciate it.
that is killer.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, I'm glad earlier on you brought up the fact that you approach the CP in a different way, and your creative process has evolved, and what you're doing now is more natural potentially for you because it does imply not experimentation might be the wrong word here, but it certainly
Yeah.
implies that you are learning still about yourself and what you are capable of and what the band are capable of. Talking about your creative process as it stands right now, how
Yeah.
experimental do you find yourself being?
Um, I think we're pretty experimental. We're quite open for to explore different genres. We're well aware of where our base lies. It's always going to be rock, loud, a lot of life in it. But yeah, I think I mean, like I said, collectively, we all listen to different things. I listen to a lot of like old funk, like Sly and the Family Stone, Stevie Wonder, and all that. I also listen to Sepultura. Harry listens to like completely different from us. We all listen to different things, but we all like the same thing. So,
Mm.
and we're not sort of closing off to anything really. Obviously, stuff wouldn't work, but we'd interpret our influences into the kind of music we all like together. So I think we're open to any sort of suggestions and within the band and experimental ideas. So that's the great thing about it. I think every band does that. Every band will say the same thing. They all mash their influences together and come up with their sound.
Yes, true. But I always feel like there's a line in the sand somewhere. And it might be in the more extreme end. Like, for example, we're not likely, I mean, say never, but we're not likely to see Call Me or More doing a old school black metal song anytime soon, right? Like that kind of thing.
Ah.
Yeah, say
The drummer's
never
into
say
a lot
never.
of the drummer's into like Danny is into a lot of crazy thrash metal from back in the day, or like the likes of Nuclear Assault as well. There's loads of old bands that he's into. Me too. I'm into a lot of the older thrash bands like
Yeah.
Testament and stuff. So you don't know. I mean, you can draw little influences out of little bits of what they've done. I mean, I think in Happy Hell, the little breakdown riff, part of it was taken from Anthrax, or like I had that in my head. It was kind of like an Anthrax thing, and obviously the guitars and the production's changed, so it sounds bigger and fatter than Anthrax. But that's kind of where it came from. I think anything's possible. You never know.
That's it. That's it. How do you challenge yourself though at this point? As you specifically, not necessarily as the whole band, but you just as an artist. How do you find yourself? How do you challenge yourself when it comes to creating music?
Um, I mean, it's always a challenge to come up with something. You'll
Mm.
come up with there'll be accidental songs that you can sort of you'll be messing around with, but then sometimes you do get it's the old writer's block thing, and you're kind of forced to come up with something to progress an idea. Um, so yeah, that I mean it is challenging, but it will also Harry's got quite a focus on what he wants out of a song, and he'll relay it to me, and then it's down to me to sort of like go onto a computer, pick a guitar up, and try and think of something. And we throw it backwards and forwards, and it's like sometimes you'll get Harry saying, "Yeah, I really like that's a cool idea," and then he'll put the phone down. You're like, "You didn't sound too keen there." But I mean, you don't know. It is a challenge to write, to try and sort of like in a way, you're trying to please each other, but you're doing it how you want to do it. But then
Mm.
you have to take everyone's sort of, you know, what they think of it. You have to take it, seriously. So
Of course, of course. I mean, yeah, because otherwise, I mean, that's how rows start, and that's how egos get in the way and things like
yeah,
that. And it's the
yeah,
last thing you want.
yeah.
What do you think this EP says about you as you stand here in 2025? It's the start of the year. It's released on February 7th, so pretty much the start of the year, and then the tour, and then whatever plans you have going forward. So it's almost like an early statement of 2025. What do you think it says?
Um, I think as far as what it says, I don't know what it's. I think it just shows the growth and the direction we're heading in, and what's to come. And I hope it attracts more people to us, which I think it is because the figures are growing. People are watching us. We're getting more tours. So this EP is, again, I don't want to sound cliche, but everyone says it. It's like this is our growth from the previous EP, but I think it's not always obvious to everyone outside. But to us, it is like the quality of the production, the songwriting, the working together. I think it's a statement of what we're about now, and it's also what we're capable of doing in future. And there's always the pressure of, oh, we've got to better that now. We've got to come up with something better. But I think we're all, we're confident that we've got better songs in us and bigger songs in us. So yeah, fingers crossed we can keep pulling them out of our ass, so to speak.
I have complete confidence in you. It does feel like an upward trajectory, but it's been a constant upward trajectory either, and it's been gradual, which is sometimes almost better because you shoot for the stars to begin with. Oh my God, you're the only way
Yeah,
is
no, I
down.
couldn't imagine doing it that way. I'm glad it's been
Um,
like a gradual thing.
but it is so exciting to see, and I cannot wait to see what the rest of the year holds already. Lastly, Jeff, before I let you go, success measured in so many different ways these days, likes, follows, streams, you name it. It's certainly not money compared to what it used to
Yeah.
be. Do you have a measure of success for this EP? What would success look like for it?
Success would look like the reviews, people, I mean, it's just about what we've come up with, what we've pushed out of our creative minds and stuff. So regardless of people's reception of it, it's just organically us. But success is hearing people talk about it, and what their reviews are and how they take it and how happy it makes them, and seeing people at the front of a stage or in the back of the crowd, singing the words back to you. And again, another cliche, but it's true that you do feel like, hold on, we're actually doing something that people like here. So for me, that is quite a measure of success, is seeing how the fans react. And even some of the bands that we go away with, that's always a big thing because they're bands that have already achieved it. They're out there doing it. They're professionals. They've got a huge fan base, and they're watching you. They've taken the time to watch you. Not many of the headliner bands want to watch. They're doing their thing, getting ready for their show. But I remember we played in Liverpool with You Me at Six, and we had,
Mm.
I think there was Liam Crombie there from We Are the Ocean. There was the Hunter, they were there. There was the band You Me at Six there. And they were all side of stage, and we were mid-show, and I just looked to the left of myself to see them all there, and I thought, "Holy fuck, what am I doing? Why are they watching me?" But
You don't need that extra pressure, do you?
no, I don't. But on stage at the time, it was like, I can
You're in
cut
the
that out.
zone, right? You're just kicking ass,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Thing is, long may you continue to kick ass, and it will
Thank
be
you.
clearly based on its upcoming tour. So, such a great moment. I cannot wait to see what comes from it. You are back in the UK at the end, so those dates are there. And my city, so I'll see you at the Electric Ballroom. Hell, I've got 2 dates, so easy to get to. Jeff,
Look
thank you so
forward to
much for
it.
taking the time to it. That's
No, thank
sorry.
you very much, man. Hopefully, I'll catch up with you in London then if you're there, and grab a beer and, I don't know, chat shit.
Absolutely. Oh, well, we'll reflect on a tour that you've just been through, particularly because you'll be
Yeah,
right at the
yeah,
end
yeah.
and ready to go
I
home.
might be a shell of a man by that stage, but
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.